Now we come to the last module, that is number 12. Module number 12 is usually the kind of questions that might be asked at the end of the interview. Now you have come to the end of the interview. They're going to say goodbye to you, but they are going to ask you some questions. One of them is, what are your salary expectations? Freshers get very scared of this question. They say, oh sir, I will work for whatever you give. I'm learning, so I will work anything you give. You lost your job. You don't know how to value yourself. Now you value yourself too much. You know that this job might only be, the usual market salary rates for this position is say 20,000. You say, oh, my salary expectation is 40,000. They will say, are you willing to negotiate? That means, are you willing to discuss, to between 20 and 40? Are you willing to adjust? You say, no, I rate myself very highly because everybody has told you interview means selling yourself. So now you're selling yourself at 40,000. That is terrible. I'm giving you these figures only. It might be 1 lakh and 10 lakhs also instead of 20,000 and 40,000. But please remember that if you know what is the usual going rate in the market for this position, you can quote maximum a little higher than that, and you can say, I'm willing to negotiate. If they say, are you willing to negotiate? They say, yes, I'm willing to negotiate. They might give you more salary. If you demand less than expected, then there is no negotiation necessary. They will agree because they are paying others more than you. Usually in, private firms and corporate firms, the salary packages are not fixed. They are performance related. So first they will offer you something. Within a month or 6 months, when they see that you are doing very well, they will give you a good salary jump. They will give you extra perks. They will give you extra bonus, etc. All depends on your performance. So in the interview, you might get lesser than others, but in a long term, you are getting more than them. So think carefully, what are your salary requirements or what are your salary expectations? In this company, in this job, what is the salary offered? In the advertisement itself, where you saw and applied, in the notification itself, there might be salary mentioned. Now, when salary is mentioned and they ask you this question, obviously you should remember that salary was already mentioned. So you have to say, I think when you advertised, you have mentioned this salary. I applied because I'm happy with this salary. No negotiation, nothing. Your awareness that yes, this was the advertisement, your memory, sharp memory, 1 month back you applied and you still remember how much salary was being offered. These are impressive. The whole idea of the interview is to tell the other person how swift you are in thinking, how quick you are in response, how positive you are in attitudes. All these are very important. Now, one last question they usually ask in an interview. Do you have any questions to ask us? The usual answer, it seems, at least 80 to 90% people, the answer is, oh no, we have no questions. No, thank you sir, namaste, goodbye. And you end the interview. It is not the job of the interviewee to end the interview. The interviewer has to end the interview. It is not your job to say goodbye and walk out. they will tell you, or if it is an online interview, you don't log out first. They tell you, now you can log out. When they tell you this, then only you leave the interview. So the decision of ending the interview is not yours, so please don't make this decision. If they ask you, do you want to ask us something? Think of many good questions you can ask. Not how are you and where do you live, not questions like that. You can ask about the schedule of further interviews. Suppose the company has a series of interviews. This is interview number 1. Then you have 2, 3, 4 other interviews also. So you can ask them by saying that this is the first round. Can you tell us when will the remaining rounds of the interview be? How many rounds of the interview are there? What kind of interviews are scheduled after this? These are all questions related to the interviews. Suppose this is a single interview, these questions need not be asked. Then what can you ask? You can ask, when can I expect the result? Do you have a date when you are going to give out the results? Will you inform the result on phone or email? How will I know the result? Will you notify it in media, electronic media or social media or print media? Can I know how I can find out my result? If I get selected, will you inform me immediately? What is the timeline of my expectation from you that I will get a response, positive response, you can say, because you are hopeful that you are going to get it. You can also ask about appointment. Suppose I get the job, then how soon should I join? What will be my working hours? All these questions you can ask. You can also ask more about your job role, your duties, or you can ask about the company's future plan. You can say, where is the company going, where I can be of great help. It is almost as though you have got the job. So if you tell me the future of the company, I will be able to tell you what all I can do for the company's benefit. It is not necessary for us to think in terms of the questions which are usually commonly asked questions. They are questions from other places which are irrelevant to an interview. In an interview, we only concentrate on the job, the position, the company, the interview room, and the recruiter who's taking the interview. Don't allow your concentration or your focus to go on any pleasantries. This is not a social conversation, so don't bring in any social ideas here. Constantly, you should focus only on the job and the company. Questions about the job, questions about the company, these are all relevant. Nothing else is relevant. I think this covers more or less everything which we require for an interview. I can only wish all of you all the best, and the best possible job may come to you with the right preparation and the right approach to your interview. Thank you.